Impact segment tonight, how to solve the illegal immigration mess. On the website donaldjtrump.com, the presidential contender has posted his immigration plan. It contains a number of very controversial things that have caused much debate. Donald Trump rejoins us now from his headquarters in New York City. Now, I have a very specific question. I need a specific answer. We all know you want the wall. We all know you want Mexico to pay for it. We all know that. But here's a scenario, okay? Illegal immigrant mother and father living in Los Angeles. 2 children who are American citizens born here. If you're president, do you order authorities to take that family into custody?
We have no choice. I'm sorry, Bill. We have to bring them out. And if they're wonderful people, which I'm sure they will be, and we have so many wonderful people, we'll bring them back in an expedited fashion. But we are a land of laws. We have borders. You said it. They're illegal immigrants. They're not supposed to be here. Mexico won't take them. You know.
I think it's pretty bad, but it's kind of a dicey subject that's kind of confusing to sort of tackle, because there's the idea that, sure, people shouldn't be coming to this country legally, but what happens when they have kids here? What do you do with them? Do you really want to split up a family? It's kind of confusing how to deal with it.
Under the Obama administration, people caught crossing the border without permission were often released into the United States. This was called catch and release. Recently, the Trump administration has declared an end to the so-called catch and release policy, though it may take a while to see any significant change to this. Catch and release came about in part because the government had nowhere to hold detainees waiting for immigration decisions. One of the memos released on Tuesday, February 21st, directs officials to expand detention facilities, but it will take time to build centers big enough or find enough room in jails to hold the thousands of detainees.
In 2014, Pew Research reported 11.1 million illegal immigrants in the United States, many of them hiding in plain sight.
First time, we're getting gang members out, we're getting drug lords out, we're getting really bad dudes out of this country.
Trump is not the first president to crack down on illegal immigration. According to data from the Department of Homeland Security, President George W. Bush's administration deported just over 2 million illegal immigrants during his time in office. And President Barack Obama's administration deported 2.5 million, excluding his last year in office, as data is not yet available. That's more than any other administration.
There are many pros and cons of legal immigration. Some pros are that it helps the economy because undocumented people are willing to take any jobs, and they also pay taxes. But there are also some cons to this, including threats to our national security and jobs being taken away from American citizens. Illegal immigration costs more taxpayer money because it is being spent on border control and deportation. And lastly, it would cost the government more money to deport them, and illegal immigration is a law violation.
Of some very serious crimes. So we're not talking about the person who comes into the country illegally and, tries to blend in. And I'm not sanctioning that, but we're talking about criminal illegal aliens. We have one in Milwaukee this week who has a criminal history going back to 2011 in a catch and release situation. Well, just last week, he pointed a firearm at his girlfriend, at his young children, threatened them, beat them, and now he's being held. And trust me, after this one, he will be deported because we have been assisting ICE in the deportation of criminal illegal aliens.
20 years ago, Congress passed a law allowing the government to quickly deport undocumented immigrants who have not been in the United States for very long, without allowing them to go before a judge. This is called expedited removal. But there have been some concerns about this, because whether or not if it violates the constitutional rights of due process that are granted to anyone in the United States, regardless of immigration status. Since 2002, expedited removal has been applied only to immigrants who have been in the country less than 2 weeks and were caught within 100 miles of the border. That is because the Supreme Court has held that such immigrants can still be considered in transit and not here long enough to qualify for due process protections.
$113 billion of taxpayer money goes to illegal immigration, coming from my parents and even my pocket. That's not really a topic that goes around. It's my generation that's coming up. We need to know all of the hard facts and why immigration's an issue, because we're going to be living through that. Some states specifically give scholarships and grants to illegal immigrants. I'm a citizen paying for college and working, and they're getting an education using taxpayers' money.